Hi, and welcome to Silly Girl Trips. Thank you for joining me and on my journey through the trips of my life. And today I'm going to talk about my ADHD specifically. I wanted to discuss and cover the definition, what it is, and so on and so forth, and discuss some of the symptoms to help others, and that might be going through the same thing and may not be aware that what they're experiencing is ADHD. And what is, first of all, what does ADHD stand for? ADHD is attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. And so the definition or the explanation of what that means is it's attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. It is a neural behavioral condition that interferes with a person's ability to pay attention and exercise age appropriate inhibitions, and also inattentive or impulsively hyperactive, or both. And that daily functioning at home, school, and work is compromised. Definitely, that happens to me all the time. And so I wanted to talk more about that. And I'm going to give a website too of where I'm getting all this information. So when you get a chance, you can read up on this and other mental disabilities and other things that are covered on this wonderful website. And that website right off the bat is www.bbr foundations.org. That's B like in boy, B like in boy, R like in Roger, foundations.org. And so, what are the symptoms then of hyperactivity impulsive type? And I'm going to dive right into this stuff because it can be very dry and a little bit lengthy, I think. So symptoms are restlessness, often fidgeting with hands or feet, or squirming while seated, running, climbing, or leaving a seat situations where sitting or quiet behavior is expected. And what that means is like leaving me somewhere that is very quiet. Everybody's supposed to use their inner voice and then expect me to be okay. No, I wouldn't last not even 5 minutes. I would be fidgeting, the silence, and I would just need to talk, and it just makes you worse. Like can't do that, so I'm gonna do that at the 10th power. So that's what that means. And blurting out answers before even hearing the whole question, as well as difficulty waiting in line or even taking turns as well is a problem. So unless somebody was moving fast or whatever, sometimes a team situation can be not a great setting for me because not that I'm bossy or anything, it's just it has to be done fast, done a certain way, and if not, it drives me wild. So I do understand that definitely. Also, it covers the symptoms of what it mentioned earlier, the inattention type, and what those are is ignores details, makes careless mistakes, has trouble sustaining attention in work or play, as well as does not seem to listen when directly addressed, guilty, and does not follow through on instructions and fails to finish. That necessarily, there is some truth to that, but I've been working on uh, becoming better, so that's become less and less of a problem. And so look up that website so you can get all the details on that. And with that being said, I wanted to address some of these issues and some of the things that I do personally to make my situation better with some of these conditions. For example, being forgetful. I'm always looking for my keys. So I have designated a certain area, either a bowl or a little trinket box or, just a certain area. As soon as I walk in the door, I'm putting my key there. No matter what, that's where I know I'm going to put my key. And so I've gotten really good at it, so I'm not losing my key all the time. So that's something that I've done to make me better. Another thing, for example, I forget all kinds of events, appointments, and I'm late for everything else. So to make myself better in that area, what I do is, if let's say I have an appointment or something, I schedule or I write down an hour or 45 minutes before that appointment. So because I am a procrastinator, I don't think there is such a thing too, because I just space time and things that I'm supposed to do because my mind is constantly going. So now I I've tricked myself to think that I'll be late. That's the time of the appointment, thinking that I'm going to be late, already late. But when I get there, I'm at least 20 minutes ahead of time, or 15, which makes for me a great day, for everybody else there a great day, and everybody else on the road have a better day, because I road rage like crazy too. And I think my ADHD just pushes me a little crazier on that end too. So these are things that I do. I also utilize a calendar a lot more, and utilize my phone's alarm and things like that to help me out. So these are just a few of my favorite things that I like to do to as I'm learning to better myself. So I write down a lot of my thoughts too now to help empty my bucket. So because like I said before, my mind is always constantly thinking, and it's never low. It's always an abundance of thoughts, ideas, and I don't know what else. I do a lot of researches. I'm really good at that. So I write down a lot of things, and then it also helps me stay focused. And it also helps me fine tune whatever it is that I need to do or I'm thinking of doing, because I think at a bigger scale. And so without somebody there to help me chop it down, I'm teaching myself how to do that by using these writing methods that I'm doing, by writing, going over what I write, and then minimizing that, taking what I like out of it or what is in common out of it and writing it down. And then from what is on that page, I just keep, going and going until it becomes like one main idea, and then or two or three, and I focus on that. So that way I am not overwhelmed. I empty the bucket, and it also helps me refresh and be able to get better ideas or get better solutions to the things that I'm faced with. The other website that I wanted to share with you today also is www.adhd found. No, that's the one I gave you already. I apologize. It's www.adhdawarenessmonth.org. For those of you that are thinking, am I ADHD? There is actually what they're calling on here an adult self screener that you can take. There's 2 PDF files. One is called Adults ADHD Self-Report Scale Screener. There's about 18 questions. And then the other one is an ADHD checklist. There's about 6 questions. And I believe after you take these questions and feel that you might just be one of those lucky candidates, welcome over and come on board. Then I would then follow up with an appointment with your doctor or a psychiatrist. I have a doctor, but I also have a psychiatrist that I deal with all the time, and I love that my psychiatrist. The other thing about a psychiatrist is that they will they're the best people because they can prescribe you and help you monitor your these medications. And so thanks to him, he has saved me from doing some way off stuff or way depressed things. So I appreciate him very much. With that being said, I'm going to conclude this by talking about the one thing that nobody wants to talk about, the one possibility or end result for having ADHD maybe and other mental illnesses and not understanding or be made aware of it or the symptoms. We can sometimes get backed up in a corner and think there's no way out, and of course then take your own life and commit suicide. And that's something that one of the main reasons why I also wanted to make a difference and talk about my mental illness, because people need to be made aware, because these things don't affect, it's not prejudice. It doesn't pick just a woman or a man. It doesn't pick, it picks children too. It's not up to us. But I do know after research that there are ways, it is curable in ways that, for example, of how to better yourself. And then one thing too is you have to retrain your mindset, and you got to be consistent. And for us that suffer from ADHD or bipolar, that struggle is harder and more consistent than most normal people. Keep in mind, I read that, what it is ADHD is an extreme form of normal behavior. It's just, everything's in extremity. And it's constant. It's not something like, oh, we're going to do it now, but it continuously repeats over and over throughout your life, not, and so good support is also good, and that's also where psychiatrists can come in as well. And so the other thing too, if you're working and you feel overwhelmed or feel like you don't, you might be ADHD or need to just talk to somebody besides a doctor, ask your manager to refer you. They offer what they call employee assistance programs, or EAP, and they offer for most employees up to a certain amount of X amount of free counseling, or there's somebody there you can talk to and they're certified or licensed. So you're not just talking to just anybody, people that really do understand and know what you're going through and can help you. And they can also refer you out to other providers locally that can help you too. I don't really push the medication, but I mean, I've done it because my goal is always to try to better myself and to help myself. And I do, and you guys know my stand on medication, and we'll keep talking about that, but not today because I am now tired of talking. But please look up these websites and take advantage. I'll put it on the link. I'll also put down toll-free numbers for those that are having a hard time and maybe considering, don't consider it. There's always, this too will pass. Know that you're loved, and there's a light, at the tunnel just hanging there, because tomorrow's going to have a whole new list of its own problems and its own happiness and its own solutions. And if you're not around to explore the magic, you're just going to miss out. You can't do that because you're loved and you have a purpose. And so God bless you. I'm going to say peace to all of you. Thank you so much for following me, and tune in on the next subject. I apologize. I'm so tired. Worked a full day. My day starts at the crack of dawn, and I'm going to bed early because I have to drop off children and so on and so forth. I love you all, and thank you again for your time. And please love yourself, and understand yourself. Make yourself aware so you can better help you. So again, thank you. Pieces, deuce out, pieces. Peace unto you and deuces. Bye.